Ta-da! What is happening out there, my friends in YouTube land? This is yours truly, Rockin' Dave, the real deal. North Fort Myers, Southwest Florida. And I wanted to post a video up, but I have to clear my phone. So I figured, well, might as well do something live, right? For March 23rd, 2023. And I figured, why don't I go on at 3:23 in the afternoon? So here we are. Sorry, I didn't have much time to post anything, but basically, what I wanted to talk about was, as the title uh, implies here, is your own identity, and the reason why I'm putting this video out or this live stream out, it's kind of in a response of people talking with me, at our shows and you know before and after, and before the shows and after the shows, and then some of the videos I've seen. One recently is did this interview with guitarist Kim Simmons, who was the founding member of the blues rock band, the British blues rock band Xavier Brown, and I remember them, but I don't remember hearing them. So all of a sudden, I've been checking out a lot of their videos, and really most of the recent live footage, uh, live at Daryl's house. I think that was in 2019, and some of the other live performances where now he just has a trio. But he's a great guitar player, very melodic. Um, he has great tone, and just not realizing how far back he goes with his band, back all the way to 1965, 67. They released their first single and all that, and he has a couple of these videos that's up with him being interviewed, and he makes the comment when he's asked about giving advice to other musicians and guitar players in particularly, and his advice is basically just focus on one style of music. And now some people might think, well, geez, if I want to be a good versatile musician, I have to listen to all these different styles. Well, yeah, that is true. That helps you. But at some point, you are going to zoom in on what really makes you tick, what really inspires you to play. And it'll show when you're playing live in your performance. And my wife always says, a lot of people don't realize, you're a product of your environment, and music wise, especially if you're a creative musician, you will always gravitate to what has inspired you growing up. You'll go through the phases, you go through the learning different techniques, and of course different gear will also inspire you as well. But the heart and soul of your playing will always come from your first um, upbringing in music. What impacts you, in the early days, and what will always continue to impact you. But it's those stages right there that really will hit you the hardest and will have the lasting power. And you might not realize this until once you relocate to another area, you know, or especially if you relocate to another state or even another country, because now you're X mile, and once you pass like 1,000 miles away from your home, basically, there's distance there, and you start to realize your new home you love, but there's certain elements you miss about your old home, and being young and growing up, what impacts you and that whole area, and then of course the time when things are really happening, you do miss that. So that really kind of sinks into your heart and soul there, and it will come out in your playing. Now, the reason why I say that, and it's not just the interview with Kim Simmons. There's quite a few interviews where he's being asked the same question, and he tells you, basically, he says, stick to one style of music, and you'll have quicker success because you're just focused on the one thing. And Anna Popovic, she's a blues rock guitarist. she made a comment about at some point you got to stray away from the people that inspire you, and you have to discover your own voice. And I realized this at our gigs. Not, not everyone's gonna like what I'm doing, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But what I start to notice is that if we're not the only one out there doing all this as instrumental, especially in this area, basically, we're one of the very few. And I live stream this, my shows, because I like to archive, and it's great to be able to look back in time and say, wow, yeah, I remember that. That was so cool doing that. But it also helps inspire those who might find themselves in the same situation. They really are a creative musician. They want to write. They want to start getting their own music out there, but then they feel like that they can't. So then they feel like, okay, well, I'll just do the cover scene and I'll pick the styles of music that I like, which is always a good thing, you know. But then they'll still start to feel suffocated. And at some point, you do have to, like, man, just break away from that. And part of this comes from people thinking, well, I want to be a professional musician. I want to make music my only source of income. Well, I'm going to tell you, be very careful of that, because be prepared for that up and down. Be prepared for a low payment, especially if you're going to hit all these clubs doing the cover band scene. Be very prepared for that. Um, because one of your biggest piece of gear that you are going to have to constantly uh, maintenance is your car, because that's what's getting you back and forth to gigs. It gets you back and forth to your day job if you have a day job. So when you walk away from your day job, then your music becomes your day job. It becomes your main source of income. And the reason why I say this is because you have to understand that everything's going to cost, and your biggest expense will be that car. So, and you better really like what you're doing, because if you don't, and I've gone through this, and so as I've known other musicians gone through this, where you're in, let's say, a cover band, and you're doing this, and yeah, this is awesome, and then all of a sudden, you start wishing the set list was you were done playing, and that's before you even got to the gig. Once you get into that feeling, it's like, oh man, you need a break, because it's going to reflect when you start playing. You'll look like you don't like what you're doing. And I get a lot of questions on this, that man, or comments. They'll say, you look like you're having fun, even if they'll say, I'm not into that kind of music, but I had fun watching you, because you really look like you're having fun, and I had fun watching you. And that could help inspire other musicians to say, hey, there's a guy out there that he's not singing, he's playing a lot of his originals, and he's doing the covers as instrumental, and some of them he's got his own rearrangements. And if he could do it, he's proven that you can do it. Just always have some that other streams of income. Have that backup plan. Have that backup plan ready. Don't be foolish. See, everyone has bills to pay, and everyone knows their monthly bills, how much they have to pay. So, base that on that scenario. You got to be honest with yourself. Can you survive with just your music, paying all your bills, and the number one big bill besides your house is your car? You got to be realistic. And then if this is why some people they get frustrated out there, and then they try to force it, and then when they're out there, they don't like what they're playing. They get to a point where progressively over a course of time they become very difficult to work with. And it's like they get the bookings, but if it was them that had to do the bookings, forget it, man. No one want to deal with them, because they get very confrontational sometimes. Oh, you're making all this money, you could afford to pay me that. And a lot of people, they can't. So then they start developing this kind of a personality that's like, oh man, I don't want to deal with this guy, man. He's impossible. You know, and that does come from not truly liking what you're doing. So you do have to, at some point, develop your identity, because even if you're not going to make a whole lot of money doing your kind of music, you're still going to have that satisfaction of saying, yeah, but I love what I'm doing. You know, I can enjoy watching myself playing. Hey, what's happening, my friend out there? Let's see who's out there. Kim, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know I didn't put up a notification. I kind of ran out of time to do that, and I figure I wanted to kind of touch on this subject a little bit. And it's a perfect day, you know, 3:23, and I just decided to do it at 3:23 in the afternoon. So I'm not going to be on super long or anything like that. But again, like the title implies, is, you know, finding your own identity. At some point, you really have to, because when you go out there to play, you know, how are you going to sell yourself? You know, me and my friend who's a drummer, we will look at Craigslist once in a while, and I'm not knocking anyone out there. Here's the deal: you're gonna have the cover bands, and I've got a couple of friends that their statement is, if they're asked what's your favorite song, their comeback statement is whatever fills the tip jar. But you see, they're entertainers and they love being an entertainer. They don't care what they're playing. They just love doing it. So they're actually legit. And I give them a lot of credit because that's who they are. I have had situations where some of these people will kind of get disappointed. They'll want me to join their project. They'll want me to, you know, oh, dude, you know, you need a singer, or we could be a great duo, or, you know, we could this or we could that. And you know, it's not that I don't like doing dudes. I know with Mike, it was great. That was really cool. Those songs that he sang, I liked them better when he sang them than the original artist, because I was used to his voice. And I would let him pick the songs that he wanted to pick, because it was in his heart and it was in his key. You know, I'm going to say, oh, dude, we got to play this and you got to learn to sing. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. You know, when I hear people do that, it's like, why are you doing that? You know, why do you want to have confrontation within your own band or your duo or trio when you know you're going to go out there and play? You know, it's, then just be a soloist or whatever, you know? But anyways, I'll have people say, you know, to me that I like what you're doing because it's so different. And then I'll have my friends in these cover bands will basically, well, yeah, they'll sell themselves like this. Yeah, we're just a cover band. Yeah, we're just this. It's like they don't even believe in what they're doing. So if I wanted to hire them and they're coming at me saying, yeah, I'm just a cover band, you know, well, then why should I hire you? There's no enthusiasm. You see, there's no soul. You don't even like what you're doing. Yeah, but I can't because no, I got to do what the people want. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's the biggest mistake that musicians will make. And unless you want to be an entertainer, because then you love doing that. That's totally different. But if it's in your heart that you really don't want to do that, so what if you got to do, let's say, lessons, or work at the music store, or work at a restaurant, or, you know, be a delivery driver, whatever, supplement the income? So what? At least when you go to play your music, you are going to be happy, and you can have that luxury of, hey, I'm not going to take that gig because it's at this place and all they want is, let's say, jazz, and I don't like jazz. You know, I want to play country. Well, then you don't go to that place, or vice versa. That's a country bar and that's not my thing, and okay, I won't get that gig, but then someone else will get it. That's fine. You know, at least I'm going to be true to what I like to do, so that when I go out and perform, people are going to say, and whether they're going to say it or not, you're going to be able to say, man, I felt I had a great show. I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. There's no one clapping, no one's paying attention, hardly anyone's there, or the place is packed and they're, you know, really don't like what I'm doing, but I'm there, and I keep getting invited to come back because it's a constant, you know, rotation of different, you know, people there. But I love what I'm doing, and it's for those people who also enjoy this kind of music. See, there was a time when there truly was a music scene where, and I've said this in the past, and I'll keep on saying this because I think it needs to be um, enforced, this type of a statement, because unless people who are my age never really went out there and played, or not only never went out there and played, but they never really went out, period. So of course they don't know. The only time they would know things, it was when they would pick up the local paper. And a lot of people who are not into music, they're not going to go pick up a music magazine because they're not into it. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. That's who they are. They're being true to, what they like. It's very interesting that I could go and play at some of these places, and I could talk to someone when I'm tearing down there at the bar, and they're still sitting there talking, and they'll say, "Oh, but you need to listen to that Tool song, or you need to listen, this Jimmy Buffett song. You need to do." They don't really understand that's not my thing, and that's okay. But see, that's their thing, and I'm going to respect them because that's what really makes them go. They really love that kind of music, and they're being honest. And then when they find out that I'm not confrontational, I'll just let them know that, well, I do a lot of my originals. We got the CD. We're pushing our product. And the only time I'll really enforce it is when you do get these people that are trying to push me. They'll try to push you. They try to push me into doing what they want. Well, you know what? That's not me. You could put your headphones on and you could listen to the original artist and still have a good time. That's fine by me. I really don't care. I'm not going to be the puppet. Oh, okay, you want to hear this? Oh, you want it? That's not me. Other people could do that well because that's what they like. So what has happened over the course of, a few decades now is that people got so used to being able to dictate to the musicians, make the song requests. I want to hear this. It's one thing when people are being polite about it and you're responding polite. There's mutual understanding and there's respect. But then when you get people that like to do too much drinking, then they want to force it on you. I mean, and then it gets to a point where they even want to come on stage and I'll show you how it's done. Yeah, no, get off stage, please, go away, go away. Please do not come to my shows. I don't want you around me. Please don't. I come to this venue to support the venue, respect the venue, and also respect the musicians. If there's something that they're playing that you don't like, put your headphones on, go use the bathroom, do something. But do not make a spectacle of yourself and then try to come up and tell the people. And you know what? I'm gonna be real flat, straightforward on this. And I know this is not gonna be nice for some of these other people. But some of the musicians had brought it upon themselves with this. They opened up that Pandora box. Okay, well, at least I'll get the gigs. If I do what the people want, I'm going to get the gigs. I could quit my job. I could brag that I'm a full-time musician. I could do this, that, and the other. And then it does not take very long for that to crash and burn. And then they realize they really don't like what they're doing, but they're going through the motions. I see it. I don't really say anything about it. But when I see it, I know for a fact I'm not the only ones that see it. When we were walking back to our car after we did our St. Patty's Day gig, I wish I would have thought about this. Oh my God, let me go ahead and go back stream live so you could see us going through the crowd, so you could see what you might have to go through. Gridlock. There was a lot of really nice people. The other bands were really nice. But I had people stopping me saying, "Wow, man, that was great what you did. No one's doing that. That was just so awesome." And then what drew me to, when I heard you play, what drew me to watch you is you were playing, that was your own music. That was your song. It's not a cover. It sounded great. It drew them in. It didn't draw everyone in, but for those who did draw in, they were being honest. And then those same people would make the comment that, it's fun having the cover bands, but these people, it's like they don't like what they're doing. They're just going through the motions. And as we were walking, I've seen it. the the band that was playing, they're a really good band. I think they were having more fun having. I think there was a person playing flute because they have a horn section, and they were having like a little. The flute player was doing a solo. They were playing like an old '60s song. Yeah, a lot of '60s songs and flute solos and that. And he was very good. But I saw the expressions of the faces of some of the other members, not all, some of them, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I really don't think so because I've seen other videos where I've seen where they were into. They looked like they were like the only thing that was entertaining them is watching this guy really get into his solo. Otherwise, you know, at the DMV, next, it's like no emotion, no soul. And when it gets to the point where the average person who doesn't, they're not really that into music, but they notice and they make those comments, oh man, it's almost at a point where the band needs to take a break, or they need to like redefine themselves, or if they're getting that burnt out, state something, because there's no life. It's like there is absolutely no life. And it's sad because they're good musicians. That's just it. They are really good musicians, but they are devaluing themselves so bad. And then at the same time, when someone like myself comes along and we do what we do and we stick to our guns, it's either they like what I'm doing, but they get disappointed that I'm not joining their project because I've tried this where I could see, all right, but this is how it's gonna be, and you gotta sing, Dave. I don't know, you can't sing. You're gonna sing. No, then I'm out. Done. I'm out. Come on, man. You could do it. Oh man, we'd be a great team. No, if you have to rely on me, but yet you want to turn me into what you want, what about you? What do you have to bring to the table? Can you go out there on your own and just, man, totally kick ass at what you're good at? If it's strumming and singing, be the best you that you can be. Be true to yourself, be real, love what you're doing, project that energy. You're going to have off days. Yeah, of course, we're all human. Big deal. But when it's a constant, that it's like a drag, then there's something seriously wrong. Now, I'm not saying when you don't get tired. I get tired too. Our Monday gigs, sometimes those could be very long days, you know? I got my split shift. I take a nap. I got the gear to load up in the car. Then when I go for round two, I do my driving gig. And right from the driving gig, I stop, I change, and then bam, I go right to the gig. And set up, and I'm ready to play. If I don't get that little, rest in between, or, an hour or two of a nap, it could be like an 18-hour day for me, man. And then obviously the kind of music that I'm playing, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of, in depth, me pulling from my soul. And then by the time I'm done, tear down, go home, I take a shower, I get up at 4 o'clock the next morning. So it could be very, very challenging. But still, even when I'm tired, I still am into what I'm doing because I love what I do. I don't care if nobody likes what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. And at some point, you really have to be true to yourself because if not, it's going to show. It's going to show really bad. And I think this is what happens with some people. And it's like they have no source to inspire them because they all fall in this category. Well, you know how, and I ran into these people. We'd be at one place tearing down their gear. All right, our set is done. Someone else is gonna come in. We'll play, let's say a 2 to 4 or something like that. The next band comes in, they're gonna do maybe 5 to 8, and we're tearing down. They're coming in, and they're like, as we pass, yeah, on to the next one. Yeah, on to the next one. They look like they're going to a day job as opposed to, yeah, man, we go out there, we're gonna play, we're gonna have fun. It's when it gets to that point, it's like, is it time to kind of not hang it up, but take a break so you can hit your reset button? Do you have to force yourself? Because when it gets so noticeable like that, like I said, the average Joe looks at it and they say, geez, man, Dave, you play with passion. Man, these other people, man, they look like I've seen, a long line at the grocery store. I've seen happier faces on a Saturday morning or whatever when it's all packed at the grocery store, and the swipe thing doesn't work, you know. I've seen more happier faces there than these people, and they're supposed to be loving what they're doing. It's like, and I'm supposed to buy this, This is what I mean. What they don't understand is, um, again, they're forcing this to be full time. So when you force it to be full time, money is going to be involved. You got to sell yourself. And if your form of selling yourself is, yeah, I'm just a cover band. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Who wants to hire you? They'll hire you only because you might be the last resort. But they're like, can you kind of step it up a little bit, Pretend like you like what you're doing. Because I just, went back to the committee board and I says, yeah, man, we found a band or found a musician. This would be great. Everyone's going to have a good time. But if you look like you're not having a good time, how are you going to give them a good time? You see, that's what people forget. And they forget about being good at their craft and loving what they're doing. Not everyone, but there is a lot of them out there. Now, our gig on Saturday, we did 4 to 7, I think it was, at Miramar. We tore down, and then behind us there was a girl setting up, and she's got a YouTube channel. I think her name is Alyssa Cubed, and I think she works at Guitar Center. She does a lot of like live looping. She'll play acoustic guitar. She'll play some saxophone, run stuff through her pedal board, live looping. But she's very creative, very very creative. And I think she's only in her 20s. And she made this comment when I was talking to her, and I thought, you know what? This girl's smart. This girl, she has it. She understands. She gets it. She made the comment because I told her what I do, and she was like, oh wow, that sounded interesting. Because she was expecting, here comes another old guy with, strumming and singing, all covers, But when I told her what I did, I could see her expression really was like, oh, really, as she was setting up. And then she made the comment that, and after I said, I think I've seen you on YouTube. Yeah, it's okay. I subscribed to her channel to help her out, because I really think she's doing something good. She's very creative. She makes the comment, she says, if no one does any original music, new music will never come out. I'm like, finally, there's someone, and it's interesting. Someone that's, I guess she's not a millennial. She's in her early 20s. Maybe she's a Gen X, whatever. She's young. And the perception is young people are stupid. Hey, I was her age before, and I was stupid, but I'm not calling her stupid. What I'm saying is she's creative. She gets it. Because she's creative. She's the real deal. She's a very creative musician. She will be doing this whether she does this as a full-time gig or not. This is embedded in her. So I give her a lot of kudos for that. Now at the same time, I do want to give a shout out to another channel called The Solo Gigging Life. His name is Jeffrey Dean. He's a great guitarist, great musician, and when I mean great, he's great at what he does. And he does a lot of covers, but he has his originals, and he does his originals, and he sells them. And he does a lot of the singing, strumming and singing. But he's not just a strummer. He could solo and all that. But he's a great musician, and he's a great entertainer, and he makes a great comment. He brings memories back to people, He keeps those memories alive, and he's always, pursuing out there. He's out there in California, and I send him a message on one of his comments, and he sent a message back that him and his wife Kim, they are doing good. They're okay. I'm like, yeah, thank God for that, because they got hit hard with those storms, snowstorms, and it's rainstorms, and it's a tornado. I think he's in what was called the Big Bear area in California, if I'm not mistaken. And he'll do a lot of moose lodges and VFWs and things of that nature. And when he was younger, yeah, he did some touring with his rock band. But he's very, very experienced. Very, very experienced. And keeps it going. And I've got a lot of respect for him because he'll also post up videos and have these types of discussions. And the reason why I have a lot of respect for him is because he is true to his art. See, if you're doing covers, if you're doing originals, if you're an instrumentalist, if you're singing an instrument, it doesn't matter. Just be true to that art that you choose to do. Love what you're doing, be true to it. And it's going to reflect in your performance. You don't have to throw the guitar around or play with your teeth or anything like that. It just your emotion into the instrument, into the vocals that you're singing. That emotion, that's what pulls people in. And it's not gonna pull everyone in because there's some people, even if they do have that emotional connection, and I've learned this a long time ago. There are some people they want to clap, but they're kind of shy to clap. They don't want attention drawn to them, so then they don't even clap. Doesn't mean they didn't enjoy it. And they'll tip if they can and when they can, or if they can't tip, they'll make a comment, say, "Man, that sounded great. We really enjoyed it." I know at Monday's gig at Jungle Bird, there was a lady videotaping me, and she was talking to Deb, and what drew her to videotape me is I was playing. I think I was coming out of one of my originals called "Stepping Out" and going into inspiration, and it's just how she heard all the rhythm and then the guitar melody, making the guitar sing, and it wasn't overpowering, and it just had that vibe for her, and she was. I can't remember what she said to Deb, but the comment was very, it was a good compliment, and I do appreciate it. You know, you're gonna when you see people out there and you go out there, you're gonna get the people that just are what they call it's a tough crowd, man. They just want to break your balls all the time because I've heard this statement before, and I've known this for a while. There are people that will go out to bars to see bands play to try to trip up the bands because that's their thing, you know, because they have nothing better to do. They get drunk and then they want to say, "Oh, this person thinks he's a rock star. Watch this, watch this." They got to cause some kind of calamity, and it's really funny and comical when they say that they play, and if you put them on the spot, then all of a sudden there's all kind of excuses why they can't play that particular right then and there as you offered to bring them on the stage. Now, I don't really do that, not because I'm afraid of someone showing me up. No, no, because I don't want someone getting belligerent on stage. And I brought them up, and it's really my gig, and it's my name, and it's gonna be a reflection of me. So there are times you gotta be really cool. You gotta be careful. You really, really do. Oh yeah, the girl that did the Alyssa, I guess she was doing an open jam, and she had a guy from Guitar Center. He had his Guitar Center shirt on, and from what I heard, he was doing real good. I didn't know that they were there. We'd been stuck around for a little bit, but we wanted to get back. We were tired, um, but I did leave a couple comments on her channel that for her to keep it up, keep on going. And this is for anybody out there. No matter what it is that you're doing, that really defines you. Never suppress your identity. Never do that because you will regret it down the road. Because what will happen is that if you're doing too much of something you don't like and you are ignoring your passion, it's going to stifle your passion. And then now it's kind of a tough thing to say because if you're in a cover band, it's not your band. They had you, they invited you in, they wanted you to play, but you're not the founding member of the cover band or what tribute band or whatever. That could be a little difficult. I do understand that. Just get out there so you can get out there and you can make your connections. But then it's always good to be upfront with people, and just say, hey, okay, you know what? I've got my own project. I want to do my own project. If you still want me to play in your band, I would be honored to. But I want you to understand that I also want to do my thing. And then if the cover band or tribute band says, "Oh no, you're married to us," it's that, then so be it. If it's in your heart, and if you have to go back to it, it'd be worth it. You go back to work, and then you build up your project, and you stay in good connection with the club owner. You know what I mean? Because now you don't have to rely on it. Because that becomes very stressful when you have to rely on this, and then now you become at their mercy. Now you're at their will, and they got to control, and they're gonna dictate to you what songs you are gonna play, whether you like it or you don't like it. You're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to succumb to that. You're gonna have to follow that, and then there you go. You just lost yourself. What happened, man? I thought you stand your ground, man. Well, I gotta pay bills. Yeah, and you know, here's the sad thing: you're not gonna make a whole lot of money in these cover bands. You know, you'll have to rely on the tips, or really, and as and some of these clubs anyway, because you know they're kind of strapped. But at least when you have your own product, you could sell your own product. You see, a cover band, you really can't. You know, and if you do and you get caught, man, don't think you won't get in trouble. Oh, this company, they could take care of it. Yeah, you better make sure, and you make sure you get it in writing, because if you do get in trouble, those same people that said, "Oh, don't worry about it," they're gonna be gone. They ain't gonna come to your aid. It's gonna be you by yourself. Now you gotta answer to it. You know. Now where's your friends? See. But that's another subject for another time. So, but it's really interesting when I would see these videos and then hear the comments, you know, at the end of our shows, at the beginning of our shows, you know, or when I get people that make the requests, and you know, I get to the point where deep down inside, I have a selected covers that I do, and there are times I don't even want to do those. It's like I just want to replace everything with originals, you know. And then there are times but I do enjoy playing some of those covers, but I have it always in the back of my mind. If it were to happen where I could no longer legally do those covers, then I'm just not going to do them. And I think we have built up enough of a good working relationship with some of these people in these areas, to keep going. But at the same time, we have our other sources of income. See, we're not stupid. We're not gonna, you know, put all the eggs in a basket, and the basket's got a big hole, and everything falls out. You know, that's just foolish. And then, oh, guess what? Now the new Head Rush, and I'm sure people out there, the new Head Rush pedal board, the Head Rush Prime, great pedal board. I think it's like $1,300. Okay, so it's nice. But see, I don't put myself in a position where whatever comes out now, I gotta buy it so I can put it on YouTube and I can show you, look what I got, and I'm gonna show you how this works now. Some of those people, um, if their purpose is to get the products to spotlight and show you, that's fine. Personally, I really don't know why the people at Head Rush or at all these other companies, they don't have someone with their YouTube channel say, well, this is, maybe they do and I just don't look for it, you know. Or they have their own website or something, but really put it on YouTube, you know. And you could say, well, Dave, they're gonna be biased because it's their product. Yeah, but you know, when you've been playing for a while, you know, you could kind of say, okay, I think I could get a gist of what this sounds like. I like to watch gear demo where there's different styles, you know, and I do like it when they show metal because I want to hear what that metal sounds like, you know. But at the same time, if you're playing fusion, if you're playing a little bluesy stuff, I want to hear that as well because that's mostly what I'm doing, you know. Um, but my point is, I'm not going to run out there and I got to buy everything to show that I got this, that, and the other, and that. It's just not my thing. You know, I stick to what I really like to do, and then that's just it. They don't have to like it, and that's fine. That's fine by me, you know. But it's like I said, this all comes from how you're going to define yourself. Is that there comes a time where you really have to make that stand, and you have to be really firm. And yeah, you might lose some work, or you might lose some opportunity. So be prepared for that. And what I mean by that, not just financially, you got to be prepared for that financially because when you lose work, you can lose money, but emotionally as well. Because where it's going to come out in your favor is that you will build your identity up and you will be able to sell you, and people are going to know you for you. And more important than all of that, you're going to be happy inside, because if this is what you really want deep down, don't suppress it, because time moves forward, and there will come a time where you'll be saying, damn, I really wish I would have taken his advice, because I look back and the main thing that bothers me that is missing is that I suffocated myself. I did not allow myself to grow. I really deep down didn't do the things I really wanted to do. And that becomes pretty tough. Again, this is for people who are creative. For the people who are the crowd pleasers, they're the entertainers, they don't care. Hey, this doesn't apply to you out there. Because you're being legit and doing what you're doing. It is different times now. One of my friends and my student Hal, his brother was a professional drummer and his dad was a professional drummer. I found a video. He told me, he says, yeah, look up Wally Gator. Well, the drummer Wally Gator Watson. His video comes up, him playing drums. A jazz drummer, played with a lot of people, man. And Hal met, people like James Brown. He met B.B. King. He was on B.B. King's tour bus. He met Chaka Khan. He met a lot of these people that are just icons. And I think he had the chance to meet his brother. Was going to have the chance to have Hal, and he might have met him, Clint Eastwood, because Clint Eastwood would go to these jazz fests. I think in Minnesota. I can't remember exactly where. Maybe upstate New York. But just iconic. Now, I gotta do something, you guys. I forgot to do this. There we go. Okay. So it's interesting. Now Hal's father, Wesley Landers, and he toured with a lot of incredibly famous people, and that time was different. And he would, Hal was saying, these were the times when the people were just like you, they were like up and coming at that time as well. But what makes it different now from back then is that there was a period, a transitional period, where people were starting to break away from doing standards, which would be covers, and they were starting to create their own music. That is why today's cover bands, and especially the for the older us boomers and people that play with the 55 plus, they'll do Motown in this area, and then they'll do like 50s, 60s, and 70s. Well, that whole period was starting to break away from standards and doing covers, and they were starting to write their own music. That's why we have what we have today. Now, if we stop this, and nothing new is going to come out. So this is what I mean. For the creative people, do not suppress your ambitions to write and release your own music. Don't do that. Listen, you don't listen to me or anyone else out there try to tell you, oh, it's not good enough. The production's not good enough. Look, not everyone has got, $100,000 to go into some studio. Not everyone could go to Abbey Road Studios where the Beatles recorded. You might barely be able to afford a refurbished 4-track recorder, and that's what you got to do. But if you're creative and you know how to get a good sound, go for it. Yeah, Dave, don't listen. Then you get these people, don't listen to him. He don't know what he's talking about because it's going to sound like crap. How do you know it's going to sound like crap? This is a matter of opinion. You know what's going to happen, though? If you listen to these people that are telling you this stuff, you will hold yourself back. And then all of a sudden, analog comes back, the crappy analog. I remember when digital was coming out. And everyone was ditching the pedals. No one wanted analog. It's crap. That's old technology. Oh, it sounds horrible, Now all of a sudden, look what's happening. Now you go to well, there's no more record stores, but you go to like Best Buy, or there's a section in Walmart for the area that sells all the entertainment section, and you see record albums. You could see them in Guitar Center, and then some of the music record albums, vinyl. I thought that was no good. Now all of a sudden it's good again. You see what I mean? So if you were to listen to some of these people and not take that chance, and deep down, you could trust your gut. You could say, yeah, but I want to put this out there. No, it's not good enough. You got to write 15 more songs, and you got to take music theory and all this other crap. And I'm not trying to disrespect music theory or anything like that and people's opinions. But what I am saying is, don't listen to people that are trying to hold you back. You could just politely say, listen, if I make that mistake, it's me making that mistake. But if I don't do anything, when that time comes and I look back, I might regret. And I've had people say that. I've heard people say, they wish they would have tried. Who knows what would have happened? At least if they tried, they would have known. But by not trying, now it's always like, geez, what would have happened? What would have happened? Because they're reflecting on their life. That's what everyone's going to be doing. As you get older, you're going to reflect on your life. So, watching those videos with this interview with Kim Simmons, founding member of Xavier Brown, and him making that comment about stick to one style, do your thing, he also made this comment that, it doesn't make any sense that, all of a sudden I want to play, and because he comes from that generation, all of a sudden I want to play a Beatles song, a Jimi Hendrix song, and a Eric Clapton song, then I want to be this, then I want to be that. Then it's like you lose yourself. You lose what really inspires you. Now, I'm not saying you cannot take everything as a whole and blend it all. You can. You definitely can. And if that's what your thing is, go ahead and do that. But don't let people hold you back and tell you you can't. You at some point you're gonna have to face yourself in the mirror, and you have to say, geez, what would I like to do? I'm not out to hurt anybody. How come these people, they get to do it, but what's wrong with me? Why can't I do it? And if it's in your heart to go out there and play and, write your own music and present it to people, you don't know you don't know who you might be inspiring, not just musically, but just in life in general. Now, I'm not saying you have to be on a mission, so everyone that plays, you got to go out there, you got to change the world, you got to inspire people. No, you don't have to do that, but you have to be true to you. Real quick, because I don't want to stay on too long. I saw a video that popped up, and I don't watch these programs, but I watched a little bit of this video, and I forget the redhead girl, and she's not a superstar. Her name is Sarah. I can't remember her last name. I think her first name is Sarah. Mother of three. She went on some program. I don't know if it's American Idol, but it's something else. Something similar to that, where you sing. Okay? And Lionel Richie is a judge. Katy Perry is a judge. And Luke, I can't remember, because I think he's a country guy. But he's a real good guy, though. Okay? But the lady that posted this video, she says, I want you to see something here. And maybe she likes Katy Perry or fine, but she said, in this video, I have so much. She didn't come out and say it this way, but I could tell it was very disappointing hearing Katy Perry tell this mother of three that will make, in so many words, you got to pick and choose. What else are you going to be the mother? The lady, she came out, young girl. She married young, has 3 kids, has a husband. She has a beautiful life. She said, I get the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mother. She loves it. And she's, I really don't know what I'm doing here, but I sing with my friends karaoke, and I'm having a good time. So I figured I'd go out and try this, and, see what happens. Right away, Katy Perry's telling her, no, you got to be in on all, or you can't do anything else, or something to that effect. Now, I could understand putting your all, she made a comment something about you got to put your all in to get the golden goose or something to that effect. But the lady that was playing this video, she says, "Look, I understand what you're saying there, but you're more than a singer. You're more than a musician. You're a human being too. So if you listen to some of these people, you better be very careful because when they tell you you got to give it your all, be very careful who you are giving your all to, because they'd be more than willing to take you down the road to ruin, and they're gonna impress you with all kind of things, give you things that's not really yours, but you think it's yours, and then when they're done with you, they pull it all back, and you're left with nothing. And you're could be financially in debt, and then your life is ruined. Is it really worth it? Are you kidding me? In this generation, here's what's so cool about these opportunities now with being independent. You don't have to rely on these people anymore. You could call your shots. When you spend your money, you're in control because it's your money. When we were doing our ticket sales, it was our money, so we were in control. My wife, I am so blessed. She's the greatest thing that's happened to me because she knows, she basically always says this to me when we have these conversations. She says, music, even though it's a different type of a product, it's still a product like any other product. And if you're smart with the money, you'll be smart with that product because you're not going to put yourself in a financial hole. And I'm going to tell you, when we were reaching out to some of these people in the early days, when Deb and I met and got married and all that in the early days, and we were getting all the rejections, you're going to get rejected. Didn't stop me. I'm so used to rejection, it ain't even funny, so it doesn't faze me. And yeah, you know what? I'm able to, I tell some stories of when we had our HVAC company, and I used to work in printing because I've done that, because I'm not a stoned out burnout. I would just go and go and go and go. And I had points when it was like, okay, nothing's happening. I had my lazy times in life too, and I'm not real happy with that. I could kick myself in the pants for that, but that's what made me wake up and say, let's move forward. And boy, did I move forward. I'm not a big star, not a big influence or anything like that, but I just try to share my experience with people so people don't make mistakes in life, because I know what it could be. But when we got together and we realized, these people, man, they're bypassing us. We're no good here. We're worthless to them. And when we started taking charge and doing things ourselves, we forgot about those people because we started seeing results. We took charge. And those people saw it. Then all of a sudden, they started emailing Deb. Oh, this, and, we're like, don't need you now. All of a sudden, when they see that you are taking charge and you're getting positive results, they want to come out and join and jump on your bandwagon. Makes you wonder, geez, how much money do these people really have? Or are they living on credit? Are they in debt? Or do they owe money? You really start seeing things very, very clearly. And it's like, geez, maybe that life is not, it's the exact opposite of what they portray it to be, so maybe I'll just stick to my guns, do my thing, and maybe I won't get that gig or this gig, but I'll get that gig there, I'll get that gig there, I'll do it, I'll be me, I'll do what I want, when I want, if I want, because you'll be in control. When you start losing control, I hope you're going to like it. Hope you're gonna like it. So I hope this could just inspire people, the creative people. Again, it's really inspiring anybody. Again, if you are into doing covers, that's your thing, go ahead and do them. If you want to put a tribute band together, that's what you want, make sure it's what you want to do. If you want to be the type that, I really don't care, man, I just want to be in a band. I've heard this one guy tell me this. I don't care what I have to do, I just wanted to be in a band. That's fine. But for those people, don't look down on the creative people and start saying, you see, if you do this, I can get you over there, but I don't want to play there. And I've said this, and I've said this with respect. If that's what you do, then that's not for me. Oh, come on, man, we can make you. No, I'm not. That's not me. It's like trying to. I'm not a seafood eater. So why are you gonna try to jam seafood down my throat? I'm not gonna. It's only gonna regurgitate out. I don't eat it. Why can't you respect that? What's wrong with that? So you see, for the people who are creative, just again stick to your guns. You'll do fine. Don't buy. You know what? Don't buy into what they're saying, and you don't even have to listen to me. You have to do what's in your heart. You have to look at your personal situation and take it from there. And if you have to supplement your income by any means, as long as it's legal and moral, then go ahead and do it. Be very, very careful with even social media trying to influence you into, well, you see, if you do this, you'll be on the in crowd. If that's what you want, go for it. But make sure it's what you want. Because if that's really not your personality, when you sit home at the end of the day and you're chilling and you find out that's not really me, that's telling you right there. Telling you right there. Find a way to put you out there if that's what you want. Your way, the way you are. And sell that. How do you think, and not just in music, how do you think all the products that are out there got there? They didn't do it by trying to copy each other. Maybe they got influences, finding how to market or whatever. But they, at some point, they had to be them. When you go buy a car, you got Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota. They would never be their own entities if they did not take charge of that entity. It would never happen. Yeah, you're gonna have hurdles. You're gonna have a lot of ups and downs. That's life. Once you understand that, once you get used to that, it doesn't bother you. You could start to stay really focused and put you out there. Do you know that there is a lot of people that the successful people will always have means of income coming in because they know they got to keep the product going. Some people they'll get a business going. They won't even leave their day job for maybe a year or two or however long it takes for that income to come in solidly, that they know if there is a slow season, that money that's coming in could still float that business and they still have money enough to pay their bills. In other words, as soon as they are out on their own, they're not going to go out and buy a yacht and all this other crap that's going to put them in a financial ruin. They're very sensible. There's a lot of people that's out there. And I'll tell you what, when you start meeting those people, maybe that's something that musicians do need to do. Talk to people that have nothing to do with music, but they have a business. Ask them what helped them, just out of curiosity. Don't they get too personal or, what are your numbers and this, that, and the other. Basically, to say, how were you able to succeed in the business that you're in? What is the secrets? You'd be surprised. A lot of them, they're going to tell you, be sensible with your money. Don't live like you're a rock star or a big shot, because the money's got to keep that vision going. And once you got that control, and once you start year after year, you're able to not only survive but thrive. And then if you're able to survive during recessions, that's a good thing, because now you know the name of the game. You know how to handle this. Then when 2, 3, and 4 years turn into 10 and 20 and 30 years, you got something going there. If you apply that logic to music, you're gonna be all right. You'll definitely be all right. So, anyways, my friends, I hope this really helps people out there. And again, is watching a couple of those videos was kind of inspired me to put this together. Because I thought this is very well said on just for creative, especially creative people, just stand in your ground, being who you are. Don't worry so much. Again, I'm gonna close it like this. Don't listen to anybody out there, including myself. Find out what really works for you and then you go with that. You know, if you're married, your spouse is involved, you got other people involved, sit down, talk with them. You know, that's why I'm so blessed. My wife and I, it's our business. These are our guitars. It's not mine. It's ours. It's our money. We're in this together. You know, when you start thinking like that, then you'll be able to survive out there because you're looking more sensible, more logical. You know, so. Anyways, my friends, continue to do what makes you you. Um, if you like going out there playing, if you like putting up the videos up, put the videos up. Enjoy life. It's too short. And I think our next gig is going to be Monday, unless something comes up this week. And I know we had some more gigs coming for April. So, but for sure, I know we'll be at Jungle Bird from 6 to 9 on Monday. And till then, you guys have a great weekend. And you stay strong, safe, and true, my friends. We love you all. Rock on, and God bless you, my friends. Have a great weekend. Take care now.